Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today, I decided to do a live stream. It's been a very long time since I have live streamed, but I just felt like it was necessary, especially considering the fact on what just happened in the market. We're going to be addressing it. We're going to be talking about it. It's not over. It's not done. Now, in terms of the bull run, so I know a lot of people have been, wondering, is the bull run done? And honestly, no, it's not. I mean, I've been talking to you guys about a lot of these assets for a fairly long time. There's still a lot left in the market for, pretty much a lot of assets, XRP, Hbar, and so forth. But overall, is there a few assets that are done? Is their runs, pretty much finished? Yes, there is a few assets that have already done parabolic moves this year alone, or I shouldn't say this year. I always trip up and say that, but last year alone, and this year's, it's a little bit of a tapered, push to the upside for a lot of those assets, but there's still a ton of growth left for a lot of these major players. Now, overall, yes, this crash is a little bit rough, but I have been talking to you guys about it for a very long time. I've been discussing the idea that, we're going to be seeing a major crypto crash very soon. I was waiting for us to actually test even lower. I mean, realistically speaking, if we are talking about Bitcoin, let's actually jump over to the chart real quick. So, I've been talking to you guys about some key levels for us to actually retest, and I wanted to test the September lows. I wanted us to get to those major lows down here, which we pretty much just tested the point where we crashed to on December 4th. It's pretty much the reason why I think that we are going to still see some downward trend. Of course, let's go check out the micro views. Let's go to the 2 hour and let's just kind of see what's happening here. So we are seeing a little bit more volume flow in, but it's still a diminished volume, stage point for us. Is Bitcoin oversold here? Yes. All you have to do is look at the RSI and really kind of see where we are currently. RSIs tell me that we are extremely oversold here. I do think that we are in store for a major, pretty much impulse back up to the upside. On the 1 hour, you can really kind of see where the oversold point is currently. We are seeing a ton of, diminished volume here. But overall, could we go down a little bit lower here? I mean, is downside, limited on Bitcoin? Not technically. I mean, even on the 1 day span, you're seeing the 1 day span a little bit less oversold here, but we are reaching down to some key points. We do see on December 4th where the RSI was. It was pretty much right here, as you guys do see. And then, of course, on December 9th is when we dipped down a little bit lower on the RSI and had that nice impulse off of the 30 mark. Now, I think that what we just recently saw was perfectly fine. I think that swept the lows. I think that we could have our official bottom in if we do have a nice impulse here, but we need to see a lot more volume here. We need to see a stronger impulse here, and actually, we need to grasp some key levels. Of course, I would like us to pretty much jump back over this blue line here, which I set this up a few days ago to really kind of show you guys where we were on Bitcoin retesting this major support zone. And I told you every single time that we retest this zone, guess what happens? We get weaker and weaker and weaker. And what essentially happened was us pretty much breaking that zone, and now we have this strong impulse to the bottom point. I told you guys for many days, yeah, sure, Hbar's moved to 33 cents or so, and even XRP's little spike above 90 cents was a little bit bullish for some people. But to me, I said, I'm not getting bullish until we see Bitcoin do its final major move. Now, is this the final dip? I even said on Twitter, in terms of what we could expect, I said, the last dip is here in quotation marks, and I said there is no last dip in these markets. Zoom out and you will see that this market is on a macro bull run and will be for years to come. Dips will happen. Just take a look at the internet user boom. That was a macro bull run for 20 plus years. We are early. The reason why I said this is because everybody's kind of panicking when we do see short-term volatility in this entire market, right? All the time when I see people saying, well, we're going to go into a bear market, what is considered a bear market in crypto? I mean, yeah, sure, we get 90% discounts on a lot of altcoins that have already jumped up in price, and then what ends up happening? We go to another bull market. I said, look at the chart for the internet boom. This is the internet, percentage of individuals in, for an example, the internet. This is still in a bull market. We are still at around almost 60% users on the internet. The way, or I shouldn't say the way, but the reason why I bring this up is because there's only 200 million individuals in crypto. That's right. You who are watching this live stream right now, you who have been watching my videos for a very long time now as well, first off, thank you and I appreciate it. But you are extremely early into revolutionary technology. You are an early adopter of this. I know that you might not think it because there's individuals who have been in crypto since, 2010 or, 2015, but you are still extremely early. The real show has not begun. Of course, are you early into Bitcoin? Absolutely not, but you could still be early into other assets that, will essentially hit some major high levels. Now, of course, the big question in the room, and I'm sure a lot of individuals are probably asking it as well right now, is Bitcoin in a bear market? Are we going to see a massive crash? Well, first off, to really understand if we are in a bull market or a bear market, you need to realize that did Bitcoin lose its major structure? No, absolutely not. I've said multiple times in terms of these September lows, so these are the major September lows. I said that we could pretty much maybe dip down as far as 40.8K. I think that that would actually be very healthy. And honestly, I think that it will scare enough individuals out for us to go on the major rally. Is it expected for us to go down here and retest this? Do we have to retest that level? No, we do not. But I'm just saying, nobody knows for certain if we are, at the bottom or not. All we have to do to really understand if we are at the bottom is watch for major impulse changes with volume as well as RSI. So when we're talking about Bitcoin's current structure, yes, we can come down a little bit lower and test 40.8K. I would not be concerned with that at all. I would actually welcome that, and that's pretty much where I would start to DCA into some altcoins. I'm not going to try to catch, a falling knife or anything like that. If anything, I'll DCA in a little bit just to watch what happens with the market. I'm not telling anybody to buy right now because I would not, buy, a falling knife, because guess what ends up happening? You buy here and we dip down to 37.4K, which is also a possibility, and I've discussed that to all of you. This would be a test of those August lows. But I will say this. For anybody who is concerned about buying, maybe they want to buy Hbar, maybe they want to buy XRP, maybe they think that they're getting a discount, wait for a strong impulse back to the upside. And what I mean by that is wait for a validation for us to get back above key support. Could be 48.9K, could even be this 45.5K's area, which I said is a strong support zone for Bitcoin, but every time that we retested it became, weaker and weaker and weaker. It's always good to DCA up than it is to DCA down and, all of a sudden the dip continues to dip. Don't feel too bad buying, XRP, for an example, here's XRP's chart, right? We broke key support. So in order for us to get to the healthy point to, really buy on the upside to really, be confirmed for us to actually move even higher is pretty much buying at around 93 cents. This is the 702 point. This is also that strong support going all the way back to August. This is also, a fairly good demand zone going back to September where we bounced off of it. It was a significant support zone. And just recently we've seen the support being retested until it was officially broken on December 24th, which told me, guess what? XRP is going to be going lower. But once we do break this and regrasp this and pretty much push above even the $5 point, which is the 618, that tells me that XRP has a lot of strength in it. You want to buy, when we have that nice strong support bounce. You never want to buy resistance, because when you buy resistance, those who were buying at $5 that thought that we were going to the moon on XRP, look at what ended up happening. From that day, which this was a resistance, zone that got retested and rejected, look at what ended up happening. So now you want to buy support. And of course, I don't think that it is a bad point to DCA in on a dip like this, because if you look at the support zones going all the way back to July and August, look at where we just recently retested almost, right? So this is strong support before that nice major impulse. I would like to, if I was, somebody who wanted to buy XRP, I would buy the support zones, not the resistance zones, which I'm sure you probably all have heard that before. So realistically speaking, DCAing in here wouldn't be a bad thing, but you need to watch Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the tell sign if something like XRP is going to go lower. So in my mind, to really kind of clarify this, this is a major support zone going all the way back here. It's a demand zone, but could we go lower? With the diminished volume that we are seeing on XRP, and you could pretty much check the 4-hour and the 2-hour as well and really kind of see this, but on the 4-hour, RSI is extremely oversold, so it wouldn't be a bad position to take right now on XRP to really kind of buy a little bit of the dip. Don't go all in. Save a little bit of side cash as well for if we do go down a little bit lower. Of course, you have to watch the RSI and the volume, which right now tells me XRP is extremely oversold. The RSI is well below, 30. It's at 24, which tells me it's extremely oversold, like I said. And the same goes for a lot of altcoins too. I mean, Hbar is no different. Hbar a little bit less oversold though, as you guys do see. So this could actually come down a little bit lower. I wouldn't be surprised if Hbar did test, maybe 24 cents, realistically speaking, which we did test about 27 cents, but this could actually come down a little bit lower realistically, because the RSI is not oversold at all on the 4-hour. Yeah, you could argue that 35.91 is a little bit oversold, but it's not. On the 2-hour, you could see a little bit more oversold areas being demanded here on the 2-hour span. We are seeing us pretty much dip down below the 30. We're hitting about 28.52, which, like I said, with a lot of this volume flowing out, it's a little bit concerning, but are we almost at the relief stage on Hbar? It is possible. Of course, keep in mind that it's not all about the altcoins, though. It's about the Bitcoin pairs as well for these. In terms of the USD pair, it's really good to look at the USD pair if you're trying to just, look at the key structure. But if you're looking at the real fundamentals, you want to look at the Bitcoin price chart as well, because this tells you the strength, towards Bitcoin. And right now, on the 4-hour, this is not oversold at all. On the 2-hour for the Bitcoin price chart, again, it's not oversold at all. So this means that the Bitcoin price chart could come down a little bit lower. Wouldn't be surprised if it did, which will obviously bring the USD pair down a little bit as well. If you go to the 1-day span on this, we are testing a significant support zone, but we have broken this before, just recently as well. So I'm watching a lot of the Bitcoin price charts for a lot of these altcoins, specifically Hbar and XRP. As you guys are probably all aware, these are pretty much my two major bullish plays. Of course, I do have other plays within this, like, for example, XDC. XDC is a good one to really kind of note. Again, this actually has held up fairly strong, opposed to a lot of these other major altcoins. On the day span, you can pretty much see where we dipped down to is pretty much about 8 cents, which I told you guys in a video on XDC. I want to say it's been a couple days ago now, but I told you guys we could pretty much test 8 cents because that is a strong demand zone to test. So overall, a lot of the structure of this market is actually holding up. I wouldn't be panicking right now at all. Again, dips are for buying. If you want to buy, go ahead, do so. Just make sure to keep note of the fundamentals and the structure of a lot of these altcoins, especially in terms of RSI strength and in terms of volume. But I will say this, if we are looking at the total too, or this is actually just a total. I have the total 2 over here, sorry. If we're looking at the total right now, there is a strong demand zone down here to test, which is those September lows. But I don't know if we come down that low. I really don't see us coming down that low. The RSI is pretty much holding strong here. It's nothing too crazy. It looks like we are testing the support zones from December 12th and pretty much December 10th or December 9th, around that point there. So overall, if this structure held here and we had another impulse similar to what we did in September, it would put us well above the $3 trillion mark for the total crypto market cap. It would actually bring us back to those all-time highs for a lot of assets, as well as even Bitcoin technically. But overall, is Bitcoin's run done? That's the big question in the room, because I know a lot of people have been saying that Bitcoin's top is already in. If that is the case, I do believe that we have another run left in store for us. And I am kind of leaning towards the idea that Bitcoin's top isn't in, but that's just my overall opinion. I do believe that we will see 70K being retested on Bitcoin eventually. I do believe that we will test, not test, but trade sideways a little bit more on Bitcoin before that next major impulsive move, which will, of course, allow for a lot of altcoins to kind of move a little bit more and more. So, in my mind, I think that the market is holding up strong. I think that there's no real, structure to be lost here, to be, worried or scared about. I think that the sentiment right now around crypto is actually probably worse than what we've seen back in the summertime, which back here, I could see, new individuals and just, those who, maybe got into crypto back in like 2020. Maybe if you got a little bit concerned here, yeah, I understand that. But again, we've seen a lot worse than what we just recently seen. And honestly, this is just a retest of those lows. It looks like a nice sweep of those lows for us to actually, shake out a little bit more weak hands. Again, a lot of individuals will be shaken out before the next major move. I'm not going to be shaken out. I know that we haven't seen, the true alt season just yet, so I'm holding very strong in terms of the total two. So let's actually look at the total two. Now this is excluding Bitcoin. This is just Ethereum and alts in general. If you guys look at the point that we retested, so we can actually move this down just slightly a little bit more. So 1 second, there we go. Look at the structure that we're holding here on the total two. I mean, realistically speaking, RSI, yeah, looks a little bit rough here, but it looks like it's just testing those, lows on the RSI from, December 13th and, even December 9th or around the 10th point. But overall, RSI is not too bad here. It's holding about around the almost 40 mark. I think that this could go a little bit lower in terms of RSI strength, but I do believe that we will see a nice impulse here, similar to what we did back in September. As you guys do see, I'm watching that September point very closely because the RSI is still around that point for a nice impulsive move to the upside, similar to what we did on the all-time high chart for altcoins, including Ethereum, which was just retested on November 10th, or not retested, but tested on November 10th. So if we go on a similar move, which would pretty much allow for a lot more, impulsive moves on a lot of altcoins, including, Ethereum, we're looking at pretty much retesting, the all-time high for alts and pretty much getting to the point of around like $1.8 trillion. So this would be very interesting to watch play out. But of course, I've been watching Bitcoin closely, and I've been telling you guys and warning you guys every single day not to get too bullish on altcoins because we were expecting this nice test. So everything, in my opinion, looks pretty good in terms of a structure. And when we're talking more so about altcoins in general, like I said, look at the boom for the internet. Look at the internet adoption. We haven't even hit the peak adoption point for crypto at all. We have a long way to go. I've always said, zoom out on the crypto market cap, going all the way back to as far as 2014 on, TradingView, because this is pretty much all the price data that we have on this. But just look at where we are, okay? Just a few years ago, the last bull run, look at where we were here. Look at where we were just recently, and it really kind of shows you in perspective where we will essentially go. Yeah, sure. Does this chart look a little bit concerning to me? Slightly, but overall, we know what we hold. We know that crypto is going to still be, mass adopted by the retail individual. The only thing that's concerning to me is the RSI areas, going as far back as 2017 and 2018. We pretty much hit that same peak, and it looks eerily similar on the RSI chart for what we did see back in 2017 and 2018. But again, are we in a bear market? I don't think so. I think that 2022 is going to be extremely huge for crypto and crypto adoption alike. So I am not too concerned at all. A lot of altcoins have held very strong. And with all of that in mind, I hope that you all are, holding strong. I hope that you guys aren't panicking. I hope that you guys are keeping your emotions in check. That's the only way to really succeed in this market. But with all of that in mind, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, and turn notifications on. Thank you all for tuning into the live stream. I do greatly appreciate it. It's been a very long time. It's been way too long, honestly, since I live streamed. I will do a lot more live streams in the future. And yeah, with all of that in mind, thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it. With all of that in mind, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. That's been Nick. Peace out, guys.